How insecurity can save a marriage.
Dirty texts, dick pics, and boiling over.
Stop using boundaries, guys.
You have an apology problem. You are holding yourself back.
What you can do or what to do when you're not having sex.
You've never seen us in action?
There is always something that you need to do better.
How insecurity can save a marriage. Welcome to the Morrow Marriage podcast, guys. And I know you hate insecurity. And I know you know that I think it's a monster and it destroys you and your partner and your marriage.
But he likes to keep us on our toes.
Always like to keep you on your toes, guys. Something that I have learned through, it's like 7,500 couples in February will be 4 years. It's unreal what we learn as we watch you guys, because we learn so much, of course, from our own experience, from all the resources we learned from, and of course, creating our own systems, and of course, the stuff God downloaded to us. But we also learn a ton watching you guys in your relationships as you heal, as you move forward away from the past and create your new marriage. And something that I've talked slightly about this before, but I really want to flip it from saying insecurity can be a blessing, can connect you guys more on a deeper level. I want to flip it because I want to talk about how it can save a marriage today. And what's really, really cool about this is insecurity, forget how you got it, okay? Because some of you will have had mommy and daddy issues. Some of you will have had exes that cheated on you. Some of you will have had betrayal in your own relationship. And some of you just have disconnect and somebody with a lot of fear, whatever. It doesn't really matter how insecurity gripped you. It doesn't matter how insecurity gripped your partner, okay? But I think that if you understand insecurity is a connection point on the very basic level of it. Insecurity meaning, so let's just say, you're worried that your partner is cheating and you want to check on their phone or do whatever. Listen, the person who has the phone checked on or they're being tracked or whatever, listen, you start to get all upset. It's not my baggage. Deal with your insecurity. Who cares how they got the monster gripping? That means they fucking love you. Like, why don't you look at the basics for what it is? If somebody is afraid to lose you, a lot of my men, terrified, especially if you listen to rock bottom episodes where we're making moves when it's big time, bad time, trouble, okay? You're terrified of losing your partner. A lot of women, terrified of losing their children, right? Not necessarily their husband, okay?
Some women are terrified to lose their husband too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to give you many different examples. What this means, that fear.
But there's a silver lining there.
Yes.
I always say to my wives, because I have some wives right now whose husbands are fucking liars. Like, you're lying. And I hate it. So I'm not justifying the lying, but I always tell my wives, there's silver lining here, because the reason that he's lying to you is because he's afraid of the consequence. He's afraid of the disconnect that happens when he tells you the truth. There's two sides to that. There's being afraid of the disconnect when he tells the truth and you're disappointed. But the other side of it is that in the past, when he has told you the truth, you've conditioned him to lie, because when he told you the truth the first time, you lost your ever-loving shit. And he learned, better not tell her anything anymore. And as he learned that, he continued to build the lies. It's not your fault that he lies. It is your fault that you didn't know how to react. You didn't know how to respond. You didn't do the work. But nobody knows how to do the work until they learn how to do the work. So in that respect, it's not really your fault. You don't know what you don't know. But when you learn how to respond to someone when they're vulnerable, when they tell you the truth, so that you can actually validate them, because they're another fucking human. They're not just your husband, your wife. They're sharing something with you that they want to get off their chest because they made a mistake. Whether it's a lie, it's infidelity, they're sharing it with you because they want to connect with you. They want to make it better and they want to repair. That's why it's weighing heavy on them. Do I support the fact that they're lying or that they cheated or whatever, they stole, whatever it is? No, I don't. But if you want to move forward, you have to help them repair. And you can't react like a piece of shit to your bullshit that they just served you. So if Cass came to me, God forbid, and said that he cheated on me, I'm going to be sad. You can feel whatever emotion that you can want to feel. And of course, this is the one thing that we have not experienced in our marriage. Everything else we talk about, we've experienced. Infidelity is not one of those things. Thank God. Because it's really tough. We walk you guys through it all the time. But if he came to me and said, this is what I did, I'm going to be upset. You have to allow yourself to feel the emotions. But if I start screaming at him and accusing him and blaming him, what's going to happen? If anything ever happens that might breach the connection again, he's not going to tell me. What's he going to do? He's going to lie about it to save my feelings and to save his punishment. So ladies, this is what's happening when your husband lies to you. The silver lining is he cares about you. He doesn't want to hurt you. And he also doesn't want to suffer the consequence of your shitty behavior.
And also he he would have had to overcome his fear, which is insecurity, guys, if you haven't figured it out, to actually tell the truth. It's not just that he felt guilty. It's not just that he felt ashamed. It's part of it, I'm sure, okay? Mostly that's when people want to apologize or spread some truth, okay? But that means they still have to step out of their comfort zone and fear, especially if you have yelled at them. Guys, let's stick to this for a second, because you all say you want to be great parents, but then how often do you treat your children that way? Hey, guilty, okay? Totally guilty. We have to constantly reflect on that, because if we want our children to tell us the truth when they're old enough to go get wasted, okay? We want them to call us so we pick them up, then that would
Not
mean...
be too afraid and get in a car with a drunk driver.
Right. That would mean that we would then have to set the foundation based off proper response and not reaction when we find out something they've done wrong.
Correct.
Because we don't want them to lie. We want them to trust. Okay? Now,
It doesn't mean that there's no consequences. It doesn't mean that there's no conversation and that there's not some awkward, difficult things that happen. But you have to build connection through those difficult things.
Well, now let's continue to stick to this, why insecurity can save a marriage. Because if you understand that it's actually a blessing. And I only really truly understood this with myself the more secure I am, okay? It's not like I can't get insecure. It's just pretty much a switch. I can just turn it off, okay?
We can all get insecure.
Sure. But the cool thing is that if you're dealing with a partner who's insecure, Kathryn got to give me a gift to be secure. I got to feel love. Now I understand, on a whole, being loved consistently, receiving love. I never got that as a child. My parents said I love you like 3 times in my entire childhood. I'm proud of you, I think twice. I remember it's twice, but I can only remember graduation. Like, the reality is I never felt love, which is why I fought so hard to be loved, which is funny, because that's when you're abusive, when you're an asshole, when you're manipulative, when you're controlling. It's because you don't know, okay? So what I want you to recognize with insecurity as well is that if you're dealing with a partner who's very insecure, you get to show them something that's beyond anything they'll have ever comprehended, even if it's nothing to do with childhood. Because think about it like this. If the insecurity just came from you, which is likely not the case, but let's say it is, then you, in your shitty marriage, supporting them through that, loving them through that, you're going to be able to make them feel something they haven't felt with you probably since the beginning, if ever. Okay? Talked to a man this morning on the phone, and he invited, I think, like a friend of the family for her to join him and his kids. Well, his wife saw that text message, and his wife got pretty upset. And like, rightfully so. As soon as he told me, he's like, I know I shouldn't have done that. I'm like, no, you shouldn't have. You need fucking rules and boundaries for your marriage. But if you do it, you got to tell the truth. And if you do it, you got to understand that it doesn't matter if she ties that to other forms of betrayal from throughout the marriage. You have the opportunity to love her in a way where she feels so secure, so safe. I don't care how long ago it was, because you just haven't got her through it yet. That is a gift. Insecurity can bring you so close. Let me give you some other simple examples. That text message I was talking about. Sending her a message during the day, or him a message during the day, letting them know you're thinking, how you're thinking about them, what you think about them. You'd always play that game. I'd say, I love you. You'd say, how much?
How much?
Yeah. And, essentially when you have these sorts of interactions and you're actually explaining, like I teach something called the Lover's List in my program, much more than you are beautiful. You're a good mama. You're a great mama. You have a big heart. Boring. Okay. But when you go deeper.
How do you really feel?
When you go deeper and you pour into your partner, then they know that they're truly seen and heard. Well, that does wonders for insecurity, right? That can bring you closer. It's more connection, right? And again, if you don't take things personally, like the insecurity, I remember this guy that I worked with. Now I trust him. He never, ever cheated, never, but she had been like from childhood, ex-boyfriends, ex-husband, and then him. Man, she was insecure, and he used to get so upset. And I'm like, man, she loves you so much. Just pour into her. And if you use, I have a section of my program called Man at Play. If you become these 3 men in that passion pillar, and you pour that love into her, the adventure, the fun, the excitement, all the mystery, the good stuff, she knows you're not going anywhere. She just fucking knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like I'm not going anywhere.
You got that right.
Because I poured into him, but I did get angry at first. He was so insecure. And when someone's insecure, they make accusations, and you can't see it because you get defensive naturally. I didn't know how to not get defensive. So when he was feeling insecure, all I felt was attack. I didn't recognize in the beginning that he was feeling like he was lacking. And so he was putting that on me like I was lacking. So I was defending myself, which deepened his wound even further. But when I recognized it, and I recognized how stupid it was because it was so far from the truth that it was impossible for it to actually be real. When I realized that, that's when I was able to pour into him, help him, validate him, because I didn't need to jump on board with the bullshit he was creating in his mind, because it wasn't my bullshit. It was his. But if I loved him, that's when we came up with that code phrase. I love you, but I'm scared, or I love you, but I'm insecure. And I knew if he said that, then I needed to brace myself for whatever reality was going on in his mind. Because in your partner's mind, when they're making accusations of cheating, or they're afraid of who you're with and what you're doing, that you don't love them, I don't know what else it could be. I don't really lean on the insecure side, but I've learned from him, and I've learned from some of my clients, recognizing that if you can just be with them in that moment instead of defending, because it's not real. Don't allow yourself to believe the reality in your partner's mind that's fabricated. Unless it's real and you are doing something that you could correct, which I had to reflect on my own behavior. I was doing things that, while maybe innocent as a single person, didn't really work for being a married woman.
Well, and I have these clients right now, like if you think of the last episode, Love Me for Who I Am, it's not really me, to send a text message, okay? This comes from this man I'm thinking of. There was betrayal. Whether or not they agree on the level of betrayal is irrelevant to me. It hurts, okay? She's very insecure. Now, she has got one of those histories as well that are really, really awful, okay? So he will say things like, it's not my responsibility. Well, I should have to deal with it. Like, it's her insecurity, blah, 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 blah. Because if you fucking love her, if
Go
you
back
want
to
that,
you are one. If it's his insecurity, it's yours too.
if you want that heart of hers, that big old heart that fucking loves and is empathetic and nurturing, fucking lustful, well, then don't you think you could do things that aided and embedded security?
Aided and embedded security.
Yeah, because you guys think it's a fucking crime to love your partner. It's their shit and their baggage. Horse shit. You got together with the fucking flags and you helped raise them. You did. Everything you hate, you helped build.
The red flags he's talking about.
Yeah, like if I think of this man, and let's pretend he didn't have any sort of betrayal or affair at all, okay? Which he did, but anyway, let's pretend he didn't. Well, you picked her and she had the shit. So fucking love her. But this can bring you so close if you do what we say, but typically you won't. Typically you're gonna feel too defensive, take it personal. And this, by the way, if you're the insecure one, it just doesn't get you off the hook. You have to want to not be insecure. I put myself through hell to break the anxiety that came from insecurity. I mean, fucking hell, with my thought process, with the way that I would think about how I would, it's gross. And I make men do it and they hate me. They say, fuck you and thank you, Cass, at the same time. And you do it for 30 days and you can break free. Go.morrowmarriage.com. That's our app. But you have to want to not be insecure. You have to actually try to trust.
It can't be fun.
No, it's not fun.
There's no way that it's fun to be feeding yourselves those stories that aren't real, or taking a story that is real and making it 100 times worse. That's also kind of what happens. And if your husband or your wife is taking something that you did and building on it, that's your opportunity to reflect, like I did, reflect on the thing that you did do. It might have been innocent, but it affected your partner in a really negative way. How can you change that? That's going back to love me for who I am. You need to compromise on some of the things that might be who you are. If it hurts your partner, no matter how innocent you might think it is, or that it's nothing, it isn't nothing if it affects your husband or your wife.
Yeah, and both of you have to look at it like this. Let's use both sides, okay? So you're not the insecure one, but you're gonna try to love them through that, okay? And then you are the insecure one, and you don't like feeling this way. Now, both of you don't like how insecurity grips one of you, or potentially both of you at times, and rips you apart. Both of you hate that. So it is your insecurity whether you have it or not. It is your journey to get off the crazy train whether you want it or not. That reality sucks. It's not fun. And so whichever side of the coin you are on, chances are you both become insecure anyways. Because what are you now, afraid of the next fight because he's wondering what underwear you're wearing? It doesn't really matter who we're talking about or why or what, unless you just full on don't have any fear, which I think is not true for anybody. Some of us learn how to use fear as fuel. It's something that I will teach in my program. You can use it as fuel. You get confident by doing hard shit, scary shit, okay? But otherwise, you're both creating a life where insecurity, anxiety, fear, it rules you. That's why you stop making decisions as a couple. It's why men stop and watch their wife change and carry the whole marriage. Okay, it's why women have to protect themselves. All of this stems from these negative emotions. It's time to say, I want to be done with them. And realize it's a true fucking gift. True gift. I am so blessed to have a wife who I don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't have to. Doesn't matter what my daddy did. Doesn't matter what my mommy did. Some girls I never did anything with but talked to did.
He never even met another woman before me, guys. He's lying. There are no women.
It doesn't matter about my past. Hey, listen, if you want the award for the worst fucking childhood or the worst past relationships, you can fucking have it. Because I'm busy over here with my wife creating a life that we want. So you have to decide, what award do you want now? And then you have to do the work to get that award. And it's really easy to sit in your shit and blame when it comes to insecurity. That's enough of that. Get over it. All right, guys. See you next time.
Bye.